It is his biography. Troubled but not destroyed. It talks about the reality of ministry. Today I visited one of my postulants who is doing great. He's doing ministry and is also doing tent making here. Allow me to share with you about the dimensions of pastoral ministry. I like to say some few things that in ministry we must understand what are the qualities and the qualifications of a church minister. As we look at 1 Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 to 7, we are going to look at these very specific qualifications of a church minister. Among them is the first kind of qualifications among the many are the qualifications that goes to the heart. And I want to say that a minister should be above reproach. He should be sober and with self-control. All these qualifications go to the heart of a pastor. And it takes a minister whose heart is right with God to have those qualifications. Above reproach, somebody who is sober, self-control. Those are the qualifications of a minister. The second point of my consideration is that in a minister, family matters. He should be a man of one wife, and a minister should be able to manage and control the affairs of his family. For it is utterly impossible to control the church, yet you cannot manage the affairs of your own family. The other thing that I want to put across is that a minister should be able to serve others. What do I mean serve others? He should be hospitable. He should have a benevolent and magnanimous spirit. He should take care of others. Those, in short, are the qualities and the qualifications of a church minister. And a preacher, like the postulant that I'm talking to today, as I've come here to pray for his endeavors. But I'd like to say what are the dimensions of pastoral ministry. The dimensions of pastoral ministry is that a minister should roundedly deal with these issues. A minister should preach. Preaching is very critical. One Anglican, we preach from the lectionary. We preach topically. We can preach expository sermons. We can even preach different kinds of biographical sermons and series. But above all, a minister must preach. Secondly, a minister should be encouraged, and a minister's obligation is to teach. He must teach the Bible, teach catechism, teach members, and instruct them. A minister, lastly, is a therapist. In therapy, a minister should do pastoral care, pastoral counseling, and pastoral guidance. That is what a minister should always do. A all-rounded minister must have the correct qualifications, as I've mentioned. Have a heart that is right with God. Manage the affairs of the family. Number 3, serve others. But is there a minister who has all these qualifications and can deal with all these pastoral issues at hand? I must say that all ministers in the ideal should attempt to have all qualifications. But in reality, according to Oates, one of the books that he wrote on pastoral theology, that these days is called Dimensions of Pastoral Ministry, says that the ideal and the reality of ministry is that while we are supposed to be above reproach, we are supposed to have self-control, we are supposed to control ourselves, not to be given to drink too much wine, or to be a lover of money. All these qualifications are really, really true for a minister. But in reality, sometimes we cannot meet these qualifications. That should not make us not to attempt. We should attempt to meet the reality, accepting the ideal. Always move forward. And another dimension that I include is tent making. A minister should be able to support ministry and even engage in other activities that are in line with his calling. Like my brother here is doing business, phone accessories. It is in line with his ministry. Farming would also be another option. As we continue to build his kingdom and to labor, we must encourage ourselves to be great tent makers. May the Lord bless my brother Timon. May the Lord bless his entire family. May the Lord bless his businesses. And may he make him an ideal minister who has the qualifications and who engages in the dimensions of pastoral ministry. May the Lord bless you, Timon. May the Lord bless your family. And may the Lord bless this business. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.